I guess we have to talk about leverage?
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today's episode of Talking Jets with Tigo is brought to you by you guys. That's right. I've created a new membership program for the channel, and if you want to join and become a part of Tigo's Navy, there is a join button down below. For less than a cup of coffee a month, you can help support the channel in a big way, and that's it. So ever since Aaron Rodgers has announced that he wants to be a New York Jet, the topic of conversation seems to be leverage. Who has leverage at this point? Do the Green Bay Packers have leverage? Do the New York Jets have leverage? Who's got the most leverage and who can force the other person's hand? Well, depending on who you ask and depending on whose side that person is on, they're going to give you a different answer. If you have a Jets fan, they're going to say the Jets have a leverage. If you ask Packers fans, they're going to say the Packers have leverage. In reality, nobody has any leverage. The only one that has leverage is Aaron Rodgers. So let's talk about why people think the Packers have leverage, why people think the Jets have leverage, and then talk about why I think Aaron Rodgers is the only one with leverage. So people keep talking about the Aaron Rodgers of it all, about saying like, okay, he doesn't really have very many options. He's under contract with the Green Bay Packers, and the Jets are out of options. All of the other quarterbacks have signed. They went all in on Aaron. He's the only option. Well, here's the reality. That's not true. While a lot of people may not like it, Nathaniel Hackett and Zach Wilson would actually probably be a good combo when it comes to quarterback offensive coordinator. Hackett has done a lot more with a lot less than Zach Wilson at the quarterback position, and even took Blake Bortles to an AFC championship game. And while I'm not going to sit here and say I'm super confident with the idea that Zach Wilson can be our starting quarterback, like, we do have a quarterback under center in Florham Park, and he's going to be much cheaper, and we could theoretically go and use that money to surround him with a bunch of talent. There is still a lot of guys out there, and we can create a ton of cap space and just essentially create a really like bulletproof team outside of the quarterback position and hope that that carries us through there. Remember that we got 7 wins last year with a broken and tattered offensive line and Zach Wilson. Like, even with Zach Wilson playing as bad as he was, if the offensive line doesn't get as hurt as it does, we probably are in the playoffs. A lot of what happened last year can be obviously attributed to Mike LaFleur's failure as an offensive coach, but also that offensive line absolutely falling apart. The other thing that they say that one of the reasons the Packers have leverage is the timing of it all. They continue to bring up that the Green Bay Packers have no incentive to trade Aaron Rodgers as it stands right now. They can hold on to him forever. And here's the reality of the situation. They can refuse to take his option all the way up to September 1st, right? As of September 1st, they need to take his option. And that's a long time to wait without a quarterback, especially with the Jets wanting to have Aaron Rodgers for offseason workouts and all that stuff. But the reality of the situation is that they don't have all of the time in the world. They are evaluating a new quarterback. They have 2 years to figure out who Jordan Love is. And the longer you wait, the lower the value is going to get because of the fact that you're making the team wait. But 2, you get closer and closer to losing the opportunity to get any draft picks that would help the team this year. There's always that part of it. The other part of why waiting is a problem is the cap hit of it all. If Aaron Rodgers decides to go nuclear and say, you know what, I want to retire, they get hit with a $40 million cap hit. Right now, a dead cap hit, which I think is like $8 million or $9 or $10 million over what his current cap hit is. If they go out and they sign players and they don't allocate $10 million worth of cap just to sit there, they can get punished very badly. It can hold up the potential signing of players and things like that. Now, I don't think that it gets to that situation because then Aaron Rodgers is giving up $60 million. But those are the arguing points that Green Bay has. Oh, we have our starting quarterback. The Jets don't. And what else are we going to do? We're just going to have him sit there and pay, and we'll just pay Aaron Rodgers. And it's just like, okay, like you can do that, but you're going to pay $60 million to treat your Hall of Fame quarterback that won you a Super Bowl and is a 4-time MVP and is arguably the greatest Packer ever. He's the longest tenured Packer ever. I looked that up. I didn't believe that, but that's true. That's insane to me. To do all of that just to maybe get like an extra pick or something like that doesn't seem like the smart move. And it's also kind of a little scumbaggish to like renege on a deal, but that's a topic for a different conversation. Now let's talk about why people think the Jets have leverage. Well, the Jets can also benefit from the waiting game. They don't care if he's in Florham Park now or if he's in Florham Park later. As long as he's in before training camp, no one's going to care. We can wait till after the draft. That would probably work out better for the New York Jets if we waited till after the draft. You're telling me that we can use all of our assets that we have this year to load up this year and then give you next year's first because you're so desperate, because the Green Bay Packers want a first. They're so desperate for that first overall pick, that first round pick. Okay, take a first in 2024. That's all you're going to get. And it's a conditional first. That's if he plays. And if he does come back and play, okay, you can have the 2024 first. It's probably going to be in the late 20s. The longer they wait, the worse the compensation gets for them. They need this trade to happen before the draft so that they can get capital for this draft period. That's just plain and simple. The other thing is, like, the whole Aaron Rodgers wants the Jets of it all. Aaron Rodgers can make it very uncomfortable for the Green Bay Packers. You don't want to build up a toxic situation in the locker room, and that's exactly what you're doing by holding on to him. And that's one of the things that the New York Jets fans say that gives them the leverage and the fact that he wants to be a New York Jet. The reality is that Aaron Rodgers is the one that holds the most leverage of it all. If Green Bay decides to mess around and keep Aaron Rodgers and do all of those things, he can make their lives really uncomfortable with the forcing of retirement and really just being a bad influence of the people in that locker room. You have to remember that locker room looks up to Aaron Rodgers, and they all saw the writing on the wall that it wasn't Aaron Rodgers wanting to leave. It was Green Bay wanting to move on from Rodgers. The longer Green Bay holds on and does this stuff, the worse it looks for everybody. And eventually when the move does happen, because it will happen, when it does happen, you're going to have guys like Rasul Douglas and other guys that are on the team, Aaron Jones, who are Bakhtiari, who are Aaron Rodgers fans and are leaders in that locker room. And you're going to put a sour taste in their mouth as well, because they're going to look at it and be like, well, I feel like I'm a pretty good Packer. Is that how I'm going to get treated if I get to this point in my career? What if you're treating Aaron Rodgers like that? What's going to stop you from treating me like this? And why would I want to? And so there's a lot of bad optics that can go with Green Bay the longer they delay this. And then Aaron choosing the Jets, here's where he has all the ultimate leverage. He can also say, screw it, I don't want to go to New York at any point in time, and the whole deal falls through, and everything falls through as well. Aaron Host has the most leverage amongst everybody. Now, I don't think Aaron is going to go back on his deal like the Packers did that was previously agreed before he announced that he wants to come to the Jets. But I also don't think Green Bay wants all the bad optics of it all, and the Jets I don't think are that desperate as everybody says. Yes, we absolutely want Aaron Rodgers. Yes, we absolutely believe that Aaron Rodgers coming to this team turns us into a Super Bowl contender. Those are all true. But we can afford to wait. We don't need him here until, like, the time where you say the Jets might be getting desperate is after the draft. And after the draft, I'll give you a first-round pick. I don't care what 2024's draft picks look like, because we're going to be picking 32 anyway is the assumption and the goal. So everybody's on a time crunch here. New York Jets and their fans probably want Aaron Rodgers in New York sooner rather than later. Green Bay probably wants Aaron out of their facilities and off of their contracts sooner rather than later, so that they can move on and they can bring in their players that they want to do and start adding talent. And having a pick in this year's draft is much more important than having a pick in 2024's year. You need to surround Jordan Love with as much talent as possible, and the best way to do that is just get this deal done, Take the picks that are offered to you and that you agreed on originally and move forward. Let's get this deal done, and let's not have everybody looking bad here. As of right now, the Jets look cheap and Green Bay looks bad for going back on the deal. Let's just make everything work out. Green Bay, accept the deal. The Jets, accept the deal. Everybody move it forward and make the trade happen so that we don't have to sit here and talk about it for a long time. Let me know who you guys think in the comment section below has the most leverage. The Jets, the Packers. I'm actually honestly really interested in hearing your guys' opinion on it because I've been fighting people on Twitter all day about it. And it's not about like, oh, the New York Jets are going to get Aaron Rodgers for pennies on the dollar, because I don't think that's true. We're not going to fleece the Packers. When you're talking about a game of leverage, I think all of the leverage is in Aaron Rodgers' hands. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.